Welcome to our studio chat. It is a new year. We are talking all about analyzing our business goals or analyzing our business and talking about goal setting for this studio chat. This is something that Flora and I do every year. I'm sure many of you do it as well. But it's a great time. The new year always feels like a fresh start, and it's a good time to look at where we want to go and set some new goals, continue working at some of the goals we've already set, but also to take stock of how the last year went, parts that were successful, parts that weren't, parts that lit us up, and parts that drained us.
Yeah. Um, I like this one because it's always just a really great time of year to like reflect on what was working, what wasn't working, what we enjoyed, what we didn't enjoy, and all of that, right? I think we need to do it actually a few times through the year and like readjust, because sometimes the goals that we set at the beginning of the year actually start to not start halfway through the year. I feel like they can actually change. Our direction can change. So much can change. We're evolving all the time, right? And so I like to do it also through the middle of the year and reflect and go, actually, is that goal that I set at the beginning of the year, is that realistic? I haven't achieved it yet. Do I need to change it, or do I need to jump on that and actually I do want to do that? Do you mean
Yeah.
is it still what's the word, is it still working for
Does
me?
it still fit? Does it still suit you?
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about some things that we want to consider when we're
Yeah. Well,
analyzing
I
things.
think it's important too when you're looking, when I say take stock of the past year, a good way to do that can be looking through your planner, looking through your calendar. How were your days filled? Did you like the way that your day was filled? Did you like the schedule that you kept for yourself? Did you like the projects that you had? Also, looking at your finances. This is an area that I know a lot of people don't like to get in the weeds with, but it's really important to look at how you're spending your money, how you're making your money, and the effort that you're putting into those areas will give you a good picture of the year as well. And sometimes there's things in there that will surprise you that you'll say, oh, I didn't realize that that was doing as well as it was. And I actually love that. Or this is doing well, but it's sucking all of my energy and it's filling up my calendar. Things like that are important to take note of.
Yeah, like how you feel. Like I feel like sometimes we do something that is bringing in good money, and then but we're feeling a little bit depleted, or it might be draining us kind of mentally or creatively or spiritually, and sometimes it might just not be a good fit for you anymore. So you actually have to assess that and go, yes, it's actually doing well, but making me it's not lighting me up, or it's draining me. It's maybe making you cranky and stuff, and so then it's not working with your family, and so it's just taking heed of all of those things, right? There's been things that
Yeah.
Ryan and I have let go that have been working really well, but we've decided to let them go because of those reasons, that they just didn't kind of
Well,
fit in with the plan anymore.
yeah, and I think it's important to note the difference. There will always be things in any job that you don't like doing, that you just don't like doing, but that is just the part of any job. What Flora and I are talking about is really taking stock of is are you headed in the direction you want to be headed in? And even though something's working, if you were to look at that 3 years down the road, do you still want to be doing that thing? Because you only have so much time. And if you continue to pour your time and your effort into a thing that is taking you on a path that you aren't necessarily excited about, take note of that and ask yourself if that's where you want to go, or and why you're not pivoting maybe, or why you're not getting off of that path, so that you can understand that when you're looking at kind of the direction you want to set for the year ahead.
Yeah. um okay, so let's talk about setting a goal, because setting a goal for the new year is kind of one of what do I set and stuff. And I feel like what I do a lot of the time is I kind of set these really big goals, or over, I feel like I'm an overachiever, but or I think I can do it all, but sometimes I can't. And so really taking heed of the phase of life that you're in, and setting the goals accordingly to the year that you think that you're going to have. So if you've got like little kids under tow, are they still at home? Are they in kindergarten? Are you upping a day at kindergarten? Is one starting school so you're going to get some more hours? Like, what phase of life are you in? Are you working full time, or you've decided to like maybe drop a day at work and you're going to have one extra day? Or are you actually needing to do more work at work and you're needing to add a day to work because you need the finances? It's kind of like really adjusting, making your goals realistic, but still pushing yourself a bit, but setting them into the phase of life that you know that that year is going to give you. Because I think sometimes we like set these goals and we don't actually take that into account of like what we can actually achieve. And then we feel like we're constantly failing, right? We're like,
Yeah.
we're not winning
Or
because
I think we sometimes set these goals that we don't actually believe we can hit either. Like, do you know what I mean? Like watch people set I goals of like I want to hit X financial, but do you in your core believe you can hit them? And if not, how do you get to that belief, right? Like how do you mend the gap between your mindset and that goal? I also think like when you're setting goals like that is whether it's finance or whether it's I want a wallpaper license, whatever it might be, of taking that goal and then working backwards. So that you don't have control over, right? Like I can't control if somebody's going to give me a wallpaper license or if I'm going to hit X amount of dollars necessarily, but I can control the steps that I think need to be done to be able to do that. And I think if you can take your goals and not just throw the goal out there, I want a wallpaper license or I want to make X amount a month or X amount this year, but really looking at that and then saying, okay, but what are the action steps to get there? And then putting those down on paper and then taking what Fleur said and saying, is this realistic with the time I have?
yeah,
And I think that oftentimes we have more time than we think we do, but also not not necessarily saying this goal has to happen this year, but I'm going to continue to work here. It might happen a year and a half from now. It might happen 2 years from now, but what are the consistent steps I could take to get there?
yeah, I like that. I also think planning for like, I like to go, this is my plan for the year. Like, this is my goal. This is my word. Ryan and I do like a word for the year of like, like, what is it? Is this year focus? Is this year like you can choose a word that really resonates with you? Um,
Yeah.
which I'm going to just turn off my notifications. um, that choosing a word I really love because it's like this well-rounded kind of like thing that is like your vision for the year. And I don't know, it helps you every time you think of that word, it kind of gets you back on track. Like, am I going to be, I don't know, what are some words that I've had in the past? What
We this year for Creative Studio, we had refine. I think you can have
terrifying?
growth. You can have, I've had focus before.
Yeah.
Uh, I've had discipline. I've had
Balance.
persistence,
I think I've had balance, but there was another word of balance. Of like balance was like it's a hard one because you're juggling family,
wellness.
wellness. I think wellness was it, wasn't it last year? Wasn't wellness our
I can't remember for sure, but wellness, like a more holistic approach to life. So it's not just
yeah.
working all the time, but also balancing the like mental, emotional health side of life.
Ryan and I normally have the same ones because we're working on the same stuff. So normally what she says, I'm like, that's the perfect word.
That's it.
But we do have a separate one for Creative Studio and a separate one for our own businesses because we're working artists in our own studios, that we have one for that as well. So like having different words for different things.
Yeah.
I've forgotten my point now. I was going to say,
Oh,
oh, the year. So sometimes, like, I have a word for the year of like the way that I want the year to feel and go. And then I'll have big, like some goals that I want to achieve for that year. Like maybe it might be like I want, to make this much money, that kind of thing, or like I want to like sustain that, or I would love to get like, like maybe 3 new kind of like collabs or something like this kind of general stuff. But sometimes when we plan and make goals for the whole year, what happens is you get to October and then you go, October and I haven't achieved any of my goals. And then there's this like last rush in the last 3 months of the year before Christmas to try and achieve your goals. So there's this like mentality of like, oh my God, I haven't achieved the goals. And so then this last bit of the year gets really crazy and everyone goes a little bit crazy. I feel like everyone does at the end of the year and everyone wants
Yeah.
now. So what I love to do is to like break it down into like quarters and have goals. Like Ryan was just saying, okay, my goal is to like license with a wallpaper company this year. Okay, so the first quarter, I'm going to design some new designs. I'm going to work on my style for that kind of product. The second quarter is I'm going to design a new collection. The third quarter, I'm going to be pitching hard out. Do you know what I mean? It's like, how can you break it down into quarters? Because then what happens is those 3 months, you're working like you do in from October to December, like you do at the end of the year. You're working like that gradually throughout the year instead of just in the last 3 months of the year.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I have to do my goals that way too. Sometimes I even have to break it down into 1 month where 1 month has a focus and I'm really focused on a specific thing for that month. However it works for you, I just think it's important that you have goals, that you know where you want to go. And I think it's important that you're looking at your past year. I think so often we just move from one thing right into the next. I am like notoriously bad at doing that, but if you can take a pause and say, where am I showing up? Where do I naturally gravitate towards? Do I love posting on Pinterest? I want to be on Pinterest. I want to do that. Or maybe I never want to do that. And it's this thing that like just haunts me all the time. Then maybe I want to let it go. And I want to
Yeah.
be on Instagram and I want to do that really well. Or maybe I hate doing reels, but I'm fantastic at showing up in stories. I'm going to let that other thing go and I'm going to really get good at showing up there. Do you know what I mean? Of like
Yeah.
what worked, what didn't, what I loved, what I didn't love. Make yourself a list. Some people spend a day. If you only have an hour, if you only have 20 minutes, if you're in the car at school pickup, and it's quiet and you don't have somebody around asking you if you're on your commute, you're lucky enough to ride a train or whatever, take that time and really write down, like brain dump. Just take like no thought, just write everything that you loved about this last year and everything that you hated about it and everything that you want for the new year. And I think you'll get pretty good insight into how you want to shape the year for yourself.
Yeah, I love that thing of writing it down because there's huge power in actually writing something down. My parents told me about it when I was a little girl about their dreams and stuff, and that how everything they wrote down came true about what they wanted for the family. They created a business and all of the things. And so, like, I've always done it, and there's so much power in it. And nearly everything I write down comes to fruition. And so, do write down what your intentions are and what your dreams are, because sometimes by writing it down and like you kind of make it reality, and it's just then you just let it go and then you just work hard and you work away at things to achieve those, and you're the doer. But by writing it down, it has more power in your mind, kind of thing, like you've written it down. Like, I don't know, I just believe in it. So like mindset is a big one as well. What was your mindset like last year? Was it actually quite negative? Was it cup empty all the time? Like, should it, you like try to change it to this year? Maybe you're going to be like, my mindset goals are going to be like, my cup is half full, and like take heed of like what your mindset was last year and say, this year I'm not going to feel that again. I'm not going to feel that overwhelm. I'm not going to feel that imposter syndrome. I'm not going to feel that doubt. And like having a goal for mindset is really big as well, because it helps like check going, I didn't like that feeling. I don't like those feelings. I'm going to try really hard to change my mindset this year to be more positive and to be more cup half full.
Yes. I would also challenge if you struggle with that, I would challenge you this. I do this with my kids all the time and I'm a big mindset person with them as well. But you look for things. So I look for sandhill cranes. I feel like they're good luck. I'm always searching for them and they always show up. When I'm in Colorado, I'll be on the same road that my parents drove 10 minutes before me. I'll see 5 sandhill cranes. They'll see none.
What's a
We just thought
sandhill
we were gonna.
crane? Is it like a bird?
It's a bird. So it's a bird. And I've always just, I love seeing them and they weren't around. I don't know. Now I spot them everywhere. And I always tell the kids, it's going to be a good day. We saw a sandhill crane and we were just up in Montana. We were driving along and I saw two little sandhill cranes and I was like, gonna be a good day. Sandhill cranes. But I say this that you find what you're looking for. And if you don't believe me when I say that, pick something, pick a heart. Say, I'm going to look for a heart every day. And I guarantee you're going to start to see them. Like
We have
it is wild.
we have
What'd you say?
pukekos. Have you ever heard of a pukeko?
No.
It's a bird. It's kind of like this blue bird, really pretty feathers. It's blue, like kind of blue and green, but it has like this red beak. You should Google it.
Yeah, but I'm
It's always on the
serious.
side of the road.
If you have a hard time, but it translates to everything. If you are looking to find success in your business, in your life, you will find it. And if you're looking to find all the reasons why it's not working or why it's not going to work, you're going to find those. And so I am a big believer of like speaking out what you want and looking for what you want and believing in it. And the more you believe that you're going to find that, you're going to find it.
I found it. It's a puke.
Oh yeah. See, you should look for those. Do you have something you look for?
Um, no, but I always see the pukeko and go, oh, it's a pukeko.
Yes.
I'm a
Okay.
really positive person anyway, and or I say to my kids on the way to drop them off, I'm like, who's gonna have a good day today? And they're like, me. And I'm like, me
Yeah.
too. We're all gonna have a good day, you know?
Yeah. But
So
it's important. Mindset, if you feel like you struggle in that area, spend the time. It is one of the biggest things that stands in our way, oftentimes, is our own self, our
yeah.
own brain tells us crazy things.
Yes. Um, you know how you're talking about finances and stuff. I think it's really important if you're an artist to like, I know it's really hard sometimes for us creatives to look at that stuff, but if you haven't been tracking finances and income and income streams, like where it's coming from, make this year the year that you start tracking that, because then next year you'll see like, oh, print on demand, I got made this much money from it. Or if you've got a couple of print on demands, do like maybe there's like Etsy, or maybe there's Spoonflower, maybe there's, you know, like put them out, and so you can see which one's working, because sometimes we don't have all the time to dedicate to every little area or every print on demand shop or like every client and stuff, and we really have to pick and choose which one is working for us and which one we're going to focus on to build up and create to be better. So if you make a little spreadsheet, I have spreadsheet, Ryan has a spreadsheet of like where the income's coming from, even if it's like just $20, $10 here, you can see at the end of the year, okay, I made this much from here and I made this much from say Etsy or something. Okay, but my Spoonflower's done actually quite a lot better than the Etsy shop. Maybe I should focus on that and build that next year. So it gives you the data to know which one to focus on for the following year. It's just like, it's invaluable information. We all here to, you know, like pay for the house that we live in and the food that we eat, and to like make a living out of this. And so the money side thing, and having good record tracking stuff of that, and your expenses as well, like keeping, you know, tight rein on those, like tracking the expenses of where the money is going is important as well. So if you can get good at that stuff, it's really important to be running a business, a creative
Yes.
business.
All right. Did we cover it? I think we covered it. I'm excited for this year. Every year is a fresh start, a new beginning, and the opportunity to build on our successes of the past year and to correct the ship if we want to turn it a different direction and to learn from the things that didn't work.
Yeah, and let's have our best year yet, and do it together in community. And if you're in our brief community, we can't wait to see you guys grow this year. And yeah, let's get let's get let's get planning and make some dreams come true this year. I do have a goal setting kind of form and stuff, so we might drop that below where you can download it below to share with you guys.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.